Muted.
Now press go. We are live on the Austin Live and Local page.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Mr. Bryan Kern.
this is the Austin Live and Local podcast. First time we are being brought to you live. First time. We're going to have more, too, for sure. We're going to have some more live streams of the Common Chaos podcast. I think that's an avenue we're probably going to go down.
Don't get it. I mean, we're live on
Not
Austin
all
Live
the
and
time.
Local.
Not all the time,
But this is a Common Chaos podcast.
and this is a crossover, if you haven't noticed. But it is, and we're live, motherfuckers.
We're live. So I'm Trent Knox, if y'all don't remember.
Trent was
Trying to
my
change things up.
Trent was my first guest on the first ever Common Chaos podcast, and my business partner now. We have gone and Trent had Austin Live and Local prior
January.
prior to me joining the team,
2017.
and for him,
shout out Christopher Tootin. Shout out
Seabass.
Sebastian Thomas. Shout out Robert Baker.
shout
Some
out
of the people who helped me start this company.
all the
OGs.
OG employees. And initially, this was going to be another solo episode, one of my hour-long ones. That's still what you're getting out of this one. But it's going to be with Trent. And I took the opportunity to have him back on just because we're making some moves with Austin Live and Local. And a lot of it's incorporated with doing the podcast here and utilizing the studio. As you can see, we are from a studio. I announced last week that I was going to be doing all my shows from a studio now. So we are utilizing Permanent Record. They are a studio in South Austin off of South Congress. Anybody that's in the Austin area looking to do a live stream or a podcast or have some studio space, I highly recommend these guys. Very hospitable. Very, very well-ran business here. And they're awesome dudes. Grant and Mike, shout out to them.
Yeah, very hospitable. What's the word for it? Hospitable. Yeah. I mean, hospitality. You know,
On point, man.
Yeah,
they're gents and they know how to run a business. But needless to say, I mean, I'm utilizing the studios. Austin Live and Local starting January 4th is going to utilize the studio. That's a big reason we're doing this episode today. And it also is giving me a chance to actually highlight Trent, who's become one of my good friends out here in Texas, one of my best friends that I've made in recent memory, just based off of his work ethic and his dedication alone.
and I feel the same way.
And thank you. And I feel that Common Chaos has been able to kind of get more creative and go down these different paths because of Trent. And he's allowed me to be creative with Austin Live and Local. He's allowed me to come on and do my part, whatever it may be, whenever it may be, whatever day it is. I feel like we're always evolving, always changing our stuff around. But I am thankful to you, man. And I want this to be a chance for everybody to kind of hear what starting a business is like, and what the struggles and the hassles and the nuances and the annoyance, the annoying factors that may come into play, but also how you feel overall, because you're coming up on a year of having the business. Obviously, you've gone through some changes over the last year. I myself doing this, having a business of my own. It's a humbling experience. It's an eye-opening experience, and it's something that I think everybody at one point in their life should try to tackle, should try to experience, because running your own business, I mean, if you think about it, back in the day when civilization was getting started, business, I mean, you had to start your own business to basically survive. A lot of times you were fucking a metal worker, whatever it was. All throughout history, there's been business. Business has been a focal point. A businessman or a businesswoman selling yourself as a representative of your business, or a good, selling anything is an art, is a lifestyle, it's a way of life. And I feel that we are getting a firsthand experience of exactly what it is to run a business. So I wanted to do this, get Trent's insight. Fucking year, man. What are your first feelings about having a business for a year? Let's call it a success too, because you've gone out, you've made money, you've made revenue, you've had ups and downs like any business does, but you're afloat right now. Your head's above water. Yeah. How are you feeling?
Well, I want to go back to January, and when the idea came to fruition, it was a project that I thought about, and I didn't necessarily know the tools and what needed to be accomplished then. And the team that I put together back then wasn't necessarily had the same mindset or the same ambitions or the same idea of what a project of this caliber or any caliber would be, except their own.
Right.
And you know, that idea that the name came from a conversation I had with my good buddy Robin Carriel. He works for the S&P, and I was talking about how I'm going to start another, because I was doing Twitch streams and I was doing a couple different things before I just started to do this. I was doing my own channel, Treason, on Twitch, and playing Pokemon Go and stuff like that. And, you know, I like that, but I saw that there was a business side to it. And I saw that there would be a way to help streamers, whatever it may be, Twitch, YouTube, whatever platform, increase their following basis and increase their content. So started working with Chris and Sebastian and Robert. And they liked music. They liked doing the ciphers and stuff like that. But they weren't ready for what I was making. And that's when I got in contact with you. Now, fast forward to that time frame, I wanted to bring up the fact that our first Common Chaos podcast was about communication. And looking back now from where that was, I felt like our conversation led down a path that became like, what is communication? What is good communication? And I think that instead of having that conversation then, we've learned more from the communication between GroupMe and between Facebook, between whatever platform we're utilizing to get that message out, whether it's between you and I or between a potential client or a potential artist that we're going to be working with, brand or event. And I feel like we've learned more from that experience than the conversation we had, which is ironic because it's communication, right?
Right.
So, like, we've learned more from a nonverbal communication set. I guess I'd file it that way instead of like a verbal communication, by the actions that we took in trying to connect instead of the connecting that we get done. So we learned which platforms work for us and which platforms don't work for us. We know Twitter is a direct connection with whoever, you know, our client or artist or brand is. Facebook is more of like the community that we're surrounded by, right. The friends, family, you know, some artists, some brands and events. Instagram seems to be the one that's popping off for us. It seems to be the one that we can connect the most with right. Brands, of course. Artists probably second, and events third.
Right.
You know, and we're just learning all these tools and how they communicate together, and how they interact and produce a content that we can consume. I guess that's something. So that's a long way of where we're at today.
To kind of feed into that too. So Austin Live and Local, for those that aren't aware, we're a production / media company / promotions company here in Austin, Texas. We deal with artists, brands, and events. We specialize in promotion and advertising for events and getting it delivered to audiences, whether it be through Instagram, Facebook, live streaming it through Twitch, through Twitter, through Facebook, whatever it may be. We focus on bringing the attention and the eyes to whatever we happen to be promoting, and then also doing it in a fun and engaging way. There was live streams that we were doing for a while. Trent started the live streams back in January. We're kicking them back up this January, which is kind of a cool little 1-year anniversary, new Definitely. Style, new flavor. So in reference to what you were saying, I mean, we're navigating all these different types of mediums, and through it all, we're really gaining nothing but experience. And for me, this is my first trip down a business road. Mm-hmm. I never thought of myself as a businessman. I never thought of myself as someone that would be in my own business or try to start my own business, unless it was like a band or unless it was like a creative outlet. Mm-hmm. Nothing, but I didn't really think I wanted to sit and worry about revenue and how to market and advertise yourself. And, you know, because as far as entertaining, you kind of have people to do that for you. Mm-hmm. And now I'm in the position where I'm doing that for people, mm-hmm. which is cool, because at the same time I get to learn about how I get to advertise myself and market myself and kind of get that experience under my belt. So when I'm ready to take the next step personally or business-wise now, because I'm in that avenue, I know what I'm looking for. And whether it be communication face-to-face, verbal communication, or this nonverbal communication that we're kind of navigating through, we're learning a lot. Mm-hmm. And from May or April, whenever it was that I joined the team, to, you know, even July when we did our first show with Joaquin and Human Influence, mm-hmm. To just the show we just did a week ago.
Yeah.
You know, with Smackola and Dirty Worms. And
well, let me pause you for a second. Let's go think back to that show, The House Party.
Yes.
How fucking turbulent were times then?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
think of
we were
how formulated things are now.
A tripod and a rented camera and like faith is what I want to say. Is what I want to say.
Oh
we
my
did
God,
that
we
show
didn't
with.
rent that camera.
No,
we didn't.
No, we didn't. We did not rent that camera at all.
Thanks to Best Buy and the return policy. And
shout out to Best Buy and their return policy.
Yeah.
Get all your money back.
Wow. And you know what I was going to say is that it's crazy that I never thought we would be in negotiations over business deals or negotiating terms or negotiating pricing or negotiating any of this. I just thought that this would be an outlet for people to come to and, you know, get their art out there, you know?
Something that's gotten me really excited about this in a weird way, and I don't know why, but I feel like so today, and I'll give an outline of just what we're dealing with now. We started sitting in a meeting room or an office space or at a coffee shop or somewhere, writing books with ideas in them and hopes and dreams is really what it was. It was a pen, paper, hopes and dreams. Mm-hmm. And we were just sitting there writing ideas down, what we could execute on, what we couldn't execute on, what we needed to work on.
I'd be interested to see what you wrote down.
What we wrote,
that first meeting
we probably
that we
could.
Had? I wonder what that is.
It's in my book. I have it. I have it. I definitely have it. It's that same book, and I'm on like my last. It's sectioned, and I'm on my last 4 pages of my last section. So it's just, and I got that right before I moved out here. So that's just been a year and a half of just notes and ideas and whatever. We'll have to revisit that. That's a cool little thing. That's awesome. I didn't think about that. It went from being 3 or 4 hours of just wondering if we were going to get out of these 4 walls we were stuck in to even try to talk to somebody about it, and to today where 2 business meetings, a recording of something that we do on a weekly basis now, and just nonstop business mentality. You know, we wake up, I have my 9 to 5 now, and I have my other fucking job, and it's every little setback. Like today, I wish, you know, and we talk about communicating our ideas and speaking business to people that actually are in business or have been in business for a really long time. For us, we're new, we're still green, and to be able to sit in on business meetings and actually discuss a product, I'm proud of our product. I'm proud of what we've created. I'm proud of what we're going to be doing and all the ideas that we have down the road that we're excited to create. And whatever little setback we face or whatever little incident that happens or interaction we have where we walk away and we're just like, oh man, I could have gone better. You know, we could have been more prepared. We could have done this. It just gets me more excited for the next move because now I know what I need to fix. I reflect, you know, and today was a big deal. We met with a potential sponsor for Austin Live and Local, and we pretty much pitched ourselves as a company and what we could do for them. And I don't know, it was an awkward situation. It was awkward for us. Really, the first time that we've had a business approach to actually gaining like a client, because normally we're throwing events and people are involved because they want to be a part of the event and have fun. This was really the first time that we put ourselves in a position for a company to actually use our services, and it was an eye-opening experience for sure. But it just, I'm ready for that next step, and we already know what the next step is. We're already back. We're 1 step forward because of the communication that we had with them today, and it went well. And I'm ready to move forward because I want it to be shown that we went into that experience, learned what we needed to learn, and are utilizing it moving forward, which has been, I think, business in general. I've learned so much having to do this with you and gained so much knowledge, and feel like I've grown as a business. I feel like a businessman now, where I can say that I didn't feel like a businessman when we first met. And that's something.
Well, I mean,
in my opinion, I feel like I have the right mentality and the right mindset where if someone was to come to me and say, hey, do you want to start a business? I could jump on board and ride along for the whole ride and just get better. Where, again, I didn't ever look at trying to be a businessman. I never looked at trying to be anything other than myself at a job. And, you know, I didn't really know what I wanted to do in my life, really. And business is something I'll do for the rest of my life. whether it be selling myself as an individual, creating this
Yeah.
character for the show, like I've been talking about how we're going to be doing for our live streams and how we're going to be in front of the camera and selling ourselves as well as our product. I'm going to take all of that knowledge and just continue to apply it in so many different facets of life. And it's all because it's business. Being a businessman is a lifestyle, in my opinion.
Equally so, I feel like I wasn't a businessman. I had made a business before, but I didn't feel like I was a businessman. I felt like I was just figuring things out.
Fat as fuck, by the way.
What?
I'm fat. I'm looking at myself on the feed right now.
Oh, yeah?
I'm so fat. I'm sorry, guys.
You're thicker than usual?
Thicker than a Snickers in this bitch. Whew. Mustaches
Man.
on fleek, though. Go on.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, business in general, learning how to create a product and learning how to position it and make it so that people are it's appealing to a customer or whatever. It's something I learned recently. Because initially I wanted to start a nonprofit with my first business, but I started it as a business and it was just all whack. So I had to learn from mistakes to do this. I mean, where we're at today, you've been through the whole process of creating the business. I learned how to do that the easy way. I had to do research to figure out the easy way to create a business with you.
Right.
When I was working with Chris and Sebastian, I wasn't even in that mindset. I was in the mindset of trying to outsource all the legality issues of making a business or starting a business, you know. And I feel like in with Austin Live and Local today, we've done everything to create the foundation from legal to product to everything. There's not one thing that we don't have our hands on. That's 100% independent. I don't know. It's an interesting aspect to think about if we had money and if we had employees, how big of a business this could be, and that's what excites me. I know that once we start making money and once we start, because we have
making
100%. There's nothing we don't know.
Yeah, and we have an operation, we have a procedure, we have exactly what we do with this company. It's just a matter of getting the exposure for it and getting, I don't know, some sort of revenue so we can start hiring people and paying them. And with the right help and the people, and we've got a campaign too. We're looking for people to join the team, and it's really hard. That's a difficult part right now is trying to get people to join a team and be passionate about something when there's no incentive other than just being involved.
Just experience.
Yeah, I mean, you get to go to shows and party for free. You're gonna be working.
There's a lot of stuff that comes with.
There's perks for sure.
Perks,
I mean, we get into awards shows, parties, events, but we're not getting paid for showing up. Yeah. Like, it'd be nice to get paid to show up for these things,
Sometimes.
But
it's not. It's the incentives for somebody who wants to be a photographer or a videographer or a host or a journalist or whatever isn't. You're not going to see a financial gain out of it initially. We got to. The only way we're going to be financially funding somebody is if they've got years experience. They know exactly what they're doing. If there was some, like in this situation, if we could pay $5 to someone who knew what the fuck this business meeting was about last time, we would pay that $5 all day. Tell us what we're supposed to be doing. You know, we're going in here all, trying to figure out what they want, and they're not really giving us a straight answer. Do
you think that's why businesses fail? Because people get discouraged? Have you ever been discouraged to where you thought about giving up, or you thought about stopping the business, or thought about not pursuing this business in particular, or Austin Live and Local, or changing directions? I mean, you have in the past because you've had ideas of other businesses.
Right.
But I think this is your first, one with a little bit of success and a little taste of success behind it, if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, if I am. I don't.
No.
Yeah, so I mean, did you at ever any point? And again, we've had wins, and that's why we're so excited because we know the wins are going to keep coming.
Yeah.
But was there ever a point where you felt discouraged, like you wanted to give up, or like you wanted to maybe start something different?
Back in March,
I
think March timeframe. I left Texas and went to go spend some time with my family, and the project kind of took a halt for a little bit, and then things from there kind of just, it was like, okay, well, what's this all about? And then I just kept going, and the negative comments from friends, family was there. They just really didn't understand it, and I understood it. that I understood what I was doing, and I didn't want anybody to tell me that I was wrong. That's the thing. I don't want anybody to tell me I'm wrong. I'm right. I know it. I know what's gonna happen. I've already seen it. Like, not a premonition or anything like that, but I've already thought about the idea in my head.
I've
manifested it in my head.
Right.
Yeah, and
there's no reason it can't exist in reality.
No. That's it.
Which is powerful too. Becca's reading Think and Grow Rich, right? And that's all visualization. Do you visualize yourself in that position? Do you visualize yourself getting that one day? Do you visualize yourself? Cool. Now that you visualize it, take the steps necessary to get it. You're about that. I feel that that's probably a reason why businesses fail, is people get discouraged. I have. I mean, never to the point of wanting to quit, but I've definitely hit some bumps in the road. I've definitely, and I mean,
I think maybe it's because it's my business, and
that is true.
I can't, if I air out my dirty laundry, which is kind of like that, and I want to quit it, it's not how it works.
Right.
If it's someone else's business,
because you're failing yourself at that point.
Yeah. If it's someone else's business, I'll quit. You know what? You don't want to listen to what I have to say. I don't want to listen to what you have to say. Listen to each their own. I'm on the road.
And not to deter off this subject, but we both work 9 to 5s. We both have actual lives, if that's what you want to. I call this my life, but we have other lives on top of the entertainment, the production side of it. And quitting jobs is a very real thing. You just did. You just said, "Fuck it, I don't want to be here anymore," because you felt like you weren't being treated fairly. Did you ever, at any point, quitting that? I know the answer, but for the people that are listening, and maybe somebody that's interested in starting a business or going down this path, quitting that job knowing that you may be at a financial disadvantage coming up here in the future, the next couple of months, not having a paycheck, did that add any extra worries to your shoulders? Did it add any extra stress? From the outside, if I may, I haven't noticed any. If anything, you quit and have just been nonstop on this because this is your job, this is your passion, this is what you love doing, which makes sense, gives you more time to focus on it. But has that added any type of resistance to your ideas because you're not going to have a...
The reason why is because I've done it several times now. Nobody can tell me how to do a job better than me. Nobody. Not a single person. Why is that? Because I've worked with every single different type of character. From the manager that can't get up in the morning and go to work because he's too high, drunk, whatever,
right,
to the one that's just over too much.
Micromanaging
to the point at which he's going crazy internally.
Right.
I've worked with every single different type of character, and it's that when I quit, I always have something else. I don't always have something else. Like last time I quit Mercedes, or last time I quit the lawn mowing, I quit them not knowing what was going to happen, and I think that's you learn from not from your mistakes, but your experiences as well. So from that first time, I learned what it was like to feel that pain.
Right.
Then you can just kind of make the pain smaller by, what did you do last time that changed that direction. So for me, it's like I don't have time to be in a job and search for another job.
Right.
So that's just not going to work. I'm going to have to quit. I'm going to have to bite the bullet and go and find something else to do. It just so happens that this time's a little different because I've made good life choices. I've decided I can live without this,
right, to
have this.
Yeah.
And
some sacrifices. Sacrifices always need to be made. Yeah, no. And again, I think that if anything, it's just giving you a laser focus on doing this and being able to research other things that you're interested in and other avenues. And you are a busy man. I mean, Austin Live and Local is not the only thing that you have going, but it is a focal point because that's what we want to talk about. But what else do you have going on? And this is coming from, again, I want you to explain your business journey.
I'd like to do
your
a
business
lot
journey.
More. I started my own personal podcast, like a personal brand podcast.
It's on Anchor.fm. It's called the Trent Knox Talk Show.
And it's on every podcast platform now. But
5 minutes of fire, 5 minutes of thunder in the belly.
It's direct from me. But there's that. There's my game, live streaming on my games whenever I get the chance to get on and go live there. I'd like that to be a bigger thing. But you have to sacrifice. That's one thing I got to sacrifice because I want to put more time in the Austin Live logo, and I can do that. And that in itself is kind of like something else, another project. And then film. I would love to start writing again. I tried to write back in January. I was writing some script on a script, and work and this and all the stuff that's been going on. I haven't been able to write very much. I want to direct that film, or produce the film, whatever the case is. It'll be, I don't know when that'll be, but it'll be as soon as possible. I got 3 main things that I want to do, 4, including this. So I'm just always on the grind. I wake up early. Today I slept in a little bit more till about 10 o'clock, but it's because I've been in the gym. That's another thing. I just started the gym again.
Grinding.
So I've been in that too. So I got that, and maybe you don't know, but what keeps me moving is successes. Micro successes. Right. I think we talked about this before.
We have, yeah, but I don't know about on here.
But micro successes. Yeah. And
each little notch, each little win, each little. It's like when you're a kid. A way that I can equate it is when you're a kid and you're growing, and they do little tallies on the door. Mm-hmm. Just a little bit. Hey, how tall am I this week? You didn't really grow much this week. Oh, cool. How tall am I this week? Oh shit! Look at how much you grew. Little ones, and then you're an adult. And you have to pay taxes and shit, and your life sucks. But hey, no, I'm just kidding. But no, that's what it is. Little successes. It's those little accomplishments. And then when you're not accomplishing something or you're not hitting a success, you should be learning a lesson or gaining experience or recognizing where your faults or your opportunities may be and turning them around. Feedback. I'm a huge proponent of feedback. I talk about feedback all the time. I talk about accountability. All that reflective type of nature is what I'm big on, and I believe that I get it could come from from a slew of things. I guess sports when I was younger, maybe martial arts, whatever it is. But you're never like that good when you first start a class. You're never that good when you first start a game or first start a sport. Mm-hmm. You have to get better, and that's I think a mentality that you have to have, especially if you're trying to start a business, because you're gonna hit pitfalls. You're gonna have these valleys that you're gonna hit. But then once you get up to that peak, it's funner. It's more exciting. Gives you more motivation. Mm-hmm. May stay, may crumble a little bit. Boom, you get another peak. Then it starts picking up, and then eventually, you don't even recognize the pitfalls or the valleys because they're insignificant to a point. Mm-hmm. You're not letting yourself fall into that same mistake you made when you were a month in, or 2 months in, or 3 months in. You're preparing for that mistake that you may make because of these other mistakes you've made, but you're so well prepared that you're not stressed, you're not anxious about it, you're a pro. You turn on that pro demeanor, and you just keep moving. And not to honk any horns here, but I think that's what we're doing, man. And it's in all, I think, parts of you, because this is your idea, your vision, and you have this unwavering just mindset. I think that you want success.
Nothing's going to get in the way of Austin Live Local.
I don't think so.
There's not a brand out there.
I don't think so.
There are a couple brands out there that we kind of like, but as far as any brands that are even going to remotely be next to what we're doing in any market, it's just they're just not there. So
they're definitely not as good looking or fun as we are.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if that's to be competitive. I'm first thing I told Bryan is like I'm anti-competitive, but it's I just can't confirm any. I don't like, for instance, I told you today, like, we got to take that Twitter thing down saying we're number 1.
Yeah.
Because I don't want anybody to look at it and be like, that's not true. Not because it's not true. It's because I just don't want to have any competition.
Right.
I don't even want to be on a record unless there's numbers. Let's stack the numbers. Let's see it for real. And then we aren't there. We aren't there. Everything's organic. Their numbers are paid for, bought and sold. That ain't a problem with me though. It's not our problem. We're in a whole another lane. If someone put us in a lane, you know what? That's the thing. We just did the show, right. the hip hop show. Right. Those all based off of top 20 artists, right? No ranking, obviously, just 20 top artists of Austin. Well, that guy's still doing the same thing. Videographers, media companies, doing the same thing. We're not on that list. Our name doesn't even come up. Well, why is that? I don't know. No idea. There's artists that were on that top 20 list that don't have any more followers than some of the unknown artists.
That is true.
So what does that mean? Top 20 what?
Right, okay. No, that makes sense.
We
get the reaction
a
a lot.
Like, the one thing that Dirty Worms or Smack All Over was saying is, do they have a catalog? I don't think not a lot of those artists have a catalog.
Huh?
What makes them top 20? Is it the catalog? Is it the single? What is it? I don't understand. Is it radio play?
I mean, a lot of companies do that too, though. You'll see a magazine take out a voted, best restaurant via this. I mean, it's all advertising.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the companies that pay to have their magazines at the front of the restaurants, or pay to have this, pay to have that. Hey, do you want to meet for lunch one day? Hey, I was thinking about putting your restaurant in our magazine. We have a top 20 list. That's how it works. Are you really going out there and actually getting a grading scale of who really is the best based off numbers, based off this, based off that? Yeah. No. You're going in and you're having a business meeting and you're going, hey, I'd love to put you in my magazine. You want to be in my magazine? Cool, yeah. Well, maybe you can comp like a dinner party I'm going to have for the editors. And, we can see what we can work out for you. How's number 13 sound? Or something like that.
But no, that's it. And I want to say this. It's not about that we don't support that list. It's just that we don't understand it.
You're basically pulling numbers out of thin air.
But
there's no substance as to why they're ranked in this position. There's no substance as to why they're in the top 20,
right.
Why they're in the 100 best restaurants of this. Where's the proof?
Right.
Where's the actual proof? Where's the numbers stacked up against one another? What makes number 1 better than number 2? What did they edge them out on? What category did they edge them out on?
It's not really, in that case, it's not really that. It's what do these 20 artists have differently than every other artist?
But that's the point. You can't differentiate the top 20 from the bottom 50, because you can't even differentiate 1 and 2. There's no deciding factor on why they really won against these guys. Well, there's no deciding factor why these 20 are in there and these 50 aren't.
Right.
They just choose them to be in there. And you know what? That's funny too, because we get a lot of people that respond to us through social media, because me and Trent do it all. We message everybody, contact everybody, book everybody, set all the events up, and it's funny when people react to us and they're like, oh, I didn't expect you to respond. Or, oh, I thought that I was just speaking with like an intern or someone that's paid to do responses, or some bot or some auto response. Like Twitter's famous for auto DMs right now. And I'm talking shit on Twitter for auto DMs when I use one for Common Chaos. But the auto responses that a lot of people get.
I think Austin Live Local has one.
It doesn't have an auto message. It's got an auto
on Facebook.
Like a follower. Oh, okay. Yeah.
But we use that shit. It's not. It's more of like sorry, we're away right now. We'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, okay. I won't get into this. I don't get into details. But we don't use any type of bot programming to reach out to anybody or to respond to anybody or to do anything that
no keyword answering.
Yeah. It's when you message or DM Austin Live and Local, you're getting either me or Trent. When you email one of us, you're getting either me or Trent.
Which gets confusing
sometimes.
It's like sometimes I have to put like a little bit of a signature on there. Hey,
sometimes we got to put hyphen and then
hyphen and then
I've been through that as Brian.
Wait, Brian, what the fuck? Why'd you write that? That's not what we meant. We meant this. Yeah, it's so funny. But
hey, what's up, Joaquin and Tum Tum? What's up, bitches?
There you go.
Shout out to Tum Tum. It was his birthday a couple days ago on the 14th. Love
nice.
you, buddy. So yeah. So what we have planned? I think what does Austin Live and Local have coming up? We have got an entire.
Well, we were talking about Austin Live and Local.
Well, but that was the point. No,
I mean, but what's going on with Common Chaos?
Recording every Thursday now. I'll have a new episode out every single Friday. From here on out, I'm gonna be bouncing back and forth between.
We be talking about aliens.
We're gonna be talking about aliens. I'm gonna be bouncing back and forth between the.
We're talking about trains that derail out of nowhere.
Hey, Seattle. Hope everybody's all right. There's only like 5 people that died. Yeah.
85, not 5.
No.
85.
No.
Yeah.
That's not true.
85 people died in that cargo train. Yeah, 85.
It wasn't a cargo train. It was Amtrak.
Amtrak. That's what I meant. Amtrak. That's what the news reported.
I read
85.
8. I read 5 and then 8 later that night.
85.
Fact check. Can't fact check you right now though. We're doing a weekly. I'll be doing weekly episodes. I'll be bouncing back and forth between having a guest. Those are going to be the long form ones.
And aliens are real. The government just released paperwork. That's what you said.
Hey, they did.
Declassified. Dodge this.
Declassified. Well, because I completely scratched all that because we've only got another 10 minutes. Okay. So I was going to talk about what we're doing.
Yeah. Swear that we can talk about that.
But we are going to talk about a lot about aliens, a lot about just the stuff Common Chaos is always about, that growth, that progression,
daily bullshit,
the chaos, the order. I've been bumping out solo episodes. I've done 6 of them now, and I have 11 episodes with guests. So I'm coming up on 20 episodes. I'm just going to keep staying busy, man. I enjoy doing this. Me getting this studio and renting it out has forced me to be here, forced me to put in work, forced me to stay busy, and that's what it's about. I've got some shirts coming up, and I'm doing a festival in March. Going to be doing this every week. Just staying busy, man. Got some guests coming up. I've got 2 guests booked for January already. My last
festival in March?
Yeah, I sponsored it last year, but it was before you and me hooked up. But yeah, I sponsored John. Him and his brothers throw a festival in Joshua Tree every year, so I'm going to sponsor it and go down. We're going to do a podcast down there in March in California. And then, yeah, just really here and recording. But I'm really excited. I mean, I'm excited for that, of course. But because I got this studio for Common Chaos, it was able to segue Austin Live and Local into the studio. So if anybody's familiar with that, we had a live stream that was done on a weekly basis back earlier this year.
Live in the ATX?
Live in the ATX. Last episode was the week before the most recent event we did, which was the Hideout. Or not the most recent event.
That was a podcast. I think the most recent Live in the ATX was...
With Ty
Wow.
Ty C. This is with Ty C. I think we did a Twitch stream with Doug.
Whatever it was, I thought that was under a different umbrella. We called it something else. Whatever it was.
It's all good. We're bringing it back. We're bringing the weekly live stream back. It's going to be on Thursdays, 9 o'clock, here from the Permanent Record Studios, but in the video room. We have all of January
Which is like
booked.
a Mr. Rogers situation.
It's fucking fantastic. We have the entire month of January booked with 4 guests.
I don't know. Can we let...
I don't know if we're saying who we're having on as of yet.
It'll be a surprise.
Yeah, Joaquin Schafferdeck. Google it. That's what he says in the live stream right now. Joaquin's maybe helping us debut the show.
Somewhere around
No big
there.
deal. Maybe helping us out.
He was the first guest we had before an event.
Hey, he Googled it. It was 3 people dead.
3 people dead.
Thanks, Joaquin, for
really?
correcting both of us. Appreciate it, buddy.
85 injured?
Maybe. Anything with 85? Any 85%?
85, got 85.
85% survival rate? Was that? So we have a ton of live streams coming up. We're doing quarterly events. We're keeping that movement going. Our first one's going to be late March, early April. Won't give the details out on that, but it's happening. We've got a bunch of artists and a bunch of companies on board for that. The business meetings that we've had over the last couple of days, the one we're having tonight, they all center around the live streams coming up and the event we're doing in March. I'm excited, man. We've got this studio space is helping us out a lot. The live stream is going to help us out a lot. This live stream, too, is going to be fully interactive, fully engaging. We're going to have segments from people. We were talking about getting Roger from the Bronx.
Roger from the
Bronx, getting him a segment on the show.
It'll be like the New York Minute on the ATX or something.
The New York Minute on Austin.
Yeah, on Austin.
Just have a New Yorker's
Roger
take.
from the Bronx.
A New Yorker's
ATX.
take on Austin's delirious attitude towards everything.
It'll be fun. It'll be a blast. You know what? We're gonna start covering a lot more things. We're gonna start covering, sports, fashion, art, photography. We're really going into a bigger demographic of content. Just pay attention, watch us, see our moves, watch us on Instagram, watch us on Twitter, watch us on Facebook. It's ATXLL512 on Twitter, ATXLL512 on Instagram. It's ALL512 on Facebook. Check out our YouTube page. We haven't put a lot of content up there, but it's there. So if you want to see something, check out that. Check out our website at www.austinliveandlocal.com. We have some of the best content up there, some of the best artists. We've got a couple of, what do you want to call it?
Brands and events?
No. We got a couple of articles. What are those called? Exposés? I don't know.
Exposés, articles, just editorials on brands that we worked with.
Brands, artists, and events.
If you go on there right now, actually, you can see the footage that we did from the house party that was thrown by Human Influence and Joaquin. You can also check out the footage from the Hideout, which was the event we threw at the Gotham Room up at Spinners. You can also check out our interviews from the most recent ATX Top 20 event that we did.
That's on Instagram.
We're out on Instagram. You can also check out.
Put it on there.
You can also check out some older live streams.
Older live streams on.
That's going to be updated as well. The website, we're going to be revamping that, and yeah, a lot of exciting stuff, man.
Well, once again, let's plug the fact that we're looking for more people to come on board with us. We definitely need people to organize the content that we have. We need people to be another host on a video, on the live from the ATX, or maybe a reporter for our in the streets of live from the streets of Austin, or whatever that show's called. You know, interviewing people, getting the guerrilla work done.
And again, this is a company and an idea, and I'm going to call it a movement. I've been calling Common Chaos a movement because the people that I get on board.
Austin Live and Local is a movement.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the way I like it. That's the way I think that makes an impact. Is being a part of something. You're contributing to something that's making a difference in somebody's lives. We started this off an idea where we wanted to help each other's projects grow, and we wanted to help other people's projects grow.
Yep.
And it's now turned into a job for us to help people's projects grow, and we've had success doing it, and we've had a lot of fun doing it, and we get to be creative, we get to get in front of cameras, we get to talk some shit, we get to grow cool mustaches, look super pretty, get awesome sweaters, have fun, have an awesome time. But the most important part of all that is we're helping people succeed and grow just a little bit in whatever facet they want to grow in, the same way that we've grown working together and doing this. And it's an awesome experience. And we hope to continue to provide that entertainment and that fun for people. And we also want people to join because it's a blast. And we know that the only limit is the limit we're putting on ourselves. And right now there is no limit.
All right, let's get some shout outs. You want to start off?
I didn't know we were doing shout outs.
Shout outs real quick. Shout out to WWATX.
Windward What Austin.
Shout out to Joaquin
Chafferdet.
Shout out to Doug,
Doug, yes. Doug will actually be on the show, I believe, the first and second episode, if I'm not mistaken. But Doug was on the older live streams. He'll be back as well.
Shout out to Victoria Goodman.
A graphic designer.
Victoria.
Check out her.
Shout out to Spinners.
Shout out to Spinners in the
Nick
Gotham Room.
Williams and Arash, whatever his last name is, I don't know. Shout out to Tanner Bird.
Start shouting everybody out.
Shout out Tanner Bird.
Yes, Tanner, Crab Kings.
We're working on a special project with Tanner Bird. Y'all should stay close to that one. It'll be coming out.
If you like food.
It's February.
Definitely, if you like food.
February.
Yes.
Shout out Sons of Masters.
Sons of Masters,
Jay Brook.
So I'm gonna spoil it because I don't really know who's gonna listen to this and who's really gonna go back and talk things and say shit. But I'm gonna give our first 4 guests out for Austin Live and Local. The debut episode of the Austin Live and Local live stream is, again, working title, but the first guests are going to be Joaquin and the Windward What Austin guys. They've been fantastic support and fantastic help through our journey, and they've helped us be a part of some of the most badass parties we've been a part of.
Yep.
And so we're going to bring them on. They're going to help us launch the show. We're going to be talking about Joaquin's residency at the Eastern, which is located off of East 6th in downtown Austin.
Every Saturday night.
Starting,
the New Wave.
Starting at 9 o'clock, The New Wave, hosted by Joaquin. Him and Windward What Austin have been working on that for the last couple of weeks. They've been killing it. They had a massive Halloween show. Joaquin brings in a special guest every single week to partner on a set with them. The following week, we're going to have Dewan from Pop Life and Hurry Up and Buy Skate, which is another company we've worked very close with. She's going to be on the second episode. The third episode, we're getting Jay Brook and Freshly in the studio. They were both part of the Hideout event that we did. And then the fourth week is going to be Nether Friends, which did the house party that we worked. He just got back from a nationwide tour, and he's going back out on tour in February. So those are our first 4 guests. That's all of January booked for the live stream from Austin Live and Local.
Is that this room could easily be positioned in a different direction, especially for their promotion. Like the table should be this way so that the permanent record is on the screen.
I don't know if they live stream though.
I'm just meaning, if we make some comment, maybe. What's third guest?
I went through the whole month already.
Second was it?
Pop Life.
Third
was Jay Brook and Freshly.
4.
Nether Friends. No, it's Nether Friends.
Or Rue.
Rue's going to be the special edition episode. The special show. Remember?
G?
Sit down. G-Jet's the first week of February. Before his show.
Who else were we missing? Cert? Cert.
We haven't. Potentially, but I didn't want to say anything that wasn't set in stone.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's it. For Austin Live and Local, this is the wrap up.
We're signing off. Yes, Trent Knox. Where can they find you?
At Trent Knox on pretty much all social. Sort of. At Trent Knox, Twitter. At Trenton RK, Instagram. At Trenton RK, Facebook. At Trenton RK, Snapchat. At Treason on my Twitch. Anyway, that's
the Trent Knox Talk Show.
Trent Knox Talk Show on Anchor.
On Anchor. Yeah, I'm Bryan Kern. CommonChaos.net for all your Common Chaos needs. Woke shirts up there. Spark tank tops up there.
Oh, we got some merch too.
And we got some merch too. Yes, if you go to austintliveandlocal.com, you can check that out.
Mm-hmm.
Got hoodies. Got t-shirts.
Hoodies, t-shirts,
baseball tees.
Buy them through Teespring because the other website. I don't know what.
Teespring's the way to go on that one.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going.
Yeah, that was an hour. Got through pretty quick. Almost.
That's it.
Appreciate it, brother. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and giving us some feedback and loving us. We appreciate it, guys. CommonChaos.net. Love you guys. Bye.